Hey everybody, Brandon Ascari here from Ascari Digital's Content Creator Academy, coming at you live with the newest member of the family, Sushi. You want to say hi to everybody? Hi. Put that paw up. Hi. And today we're going to be talking about budget video setups. Sushi, you want to give the intro for me? Are you ready? And go to the intro. And we're back, everybody, and I'm so sad that Sushi decided to go outside and not spend any more time with her dad. So, if you wouldn't mind, please give us a big thumbs up for my broken heart, because my baby's outside. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Share the video with all your friends and family around the world, because it'll make me feel better. And let's start talking about budget video setup ideas. So let's take a step back in time to when I first started as a filmmaker and talk about some very, very inexpensive gear, especially now, 10 years later, that you can pick up on the cheap and start getting more professional quality out of your video setup. So first we're gonna go right back here, take a look at my fancy studio setup that I almost broke right there, and we're gonna grab this camera right here. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a Canon T2i. Now, I would recommend getting a Canon T3i if you can, because it has the articulating screen, not just the, this one's stuck on here, I can't do anything with it. So if you want the articulating screen that'll pop out and you can flip it either way, I would recommend that one over this, but I picked this up since I do teach. I like to have an inexpensive camera that my students can practice and learn with, and I picked this one up on eBay for $100. And then that was that. So it came in pretty good condition, used obviously, but I highly recommend this camera because Canon really has not changed the sensors in these cameras. They've only updated the technology. And what I mean by that is simply the sensor's the same. So the image quality is still the same. You're still getting a 1080p, full HD, full camera controls, sensor's the same. But the difference is that they've updated and put Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and dual pixel autofocus and stuff like that. So it's really not important for somebody who wants to start a career creating content, because you're going to be using manual settings anyway, and the image quality is still the same. So I would recommend that camera for about $100. You can pick it up used. If you see it for more than that, buyers beware, wait, you will find one for that price as long as you're patient. Now the lens for that camera that I would recommend is much more expensive, and it's the one that's on here. It's the Sigma 17-50 Canon EF mount f2.8 constant zoom lens. So we can zoom from a 17 to a 50, and no matter what focal length I'm at, it can always stay wide open at a 2.8 on the f-stop. Whenever you're buying a zoom lens, you always want to make sure that the f-stop is constant, not like the kit lenses that are 3.5 to 5.6 or something like that. The reason why you want to get a constant aperture zoom lens is because when you zoom in, the f-stop stays the same. With the kit lenses that are like a 3.5 to a 5.6, as you zoom in to a tighter focal length, then the widest f-stop possible is now smaller. So that means the image will get darker as you zoom in from where it was if it was wide open earlier. The only way to get past that is to set the f-stop to whatever it would be, whether it's a 5.6 or whatever, instead of utilizing the 3.5, because that'll help you keep it consistent. So it's always better to get the fastest possible aperture lens you can get with the best zoom range possible. So I recommend the Sigma. That one goes for around $300. The reason why I would spend more on the lens is because you want to future-proof yourself. Camera technology changes all the time. You're going to upgrade to 4K before you know it when you're working with clients and starting to make money, but this is a lens that can grow with you. When you move into a 4K camera, you could take this lens with you because it's a really good quality glass. You could spend $1,000 on a camera, and in 2 years you're going to want a new one. A really good lens will stick with you for the long term. This is a lens that you could still use for interviews, corporate, commercial clients, doesn't matter. Narrative work, it's okay. It's not as good as primes, but if you move into a kit of prime lenses, which is each lens has a set focal length, then you have to buy a kit of them. So you might want like a 24, a 35, and a 50, or a 24, 50, and an 85, or something like that, or an extreme wide, like a 12 or a 16. So they'll give you much faster apertures more often than not, but each one could be $300. So I would recommend starting off with this zoom lens to keep it pretty budget friendly. So you have about $300 for a lens, you have about $100 for the camera body. The accessories that you'll need with them, of course, are SD cards. I highly recommend SanDisk Extreme Pro, 95 megabits per second or 170 megabits per second. SanDisks are like the time-tested champions of SD cards. They are heroes to our industry, and this one just takes a regular SD card, so get those. You could pick up like two 64 gigabyte ones because the file sizes on this camera are relatively small, so you shouldn't have a problem there. With 264 gigs, you always want to have a backup in case one fails, or if you fill up that card, you need to transfer and you still have to film, then you put the second one in the camera. You'll never have a problem running out of data for your time. And then I recommend getting Wasabi Power brand Canon batteries for this, which you'll see on the screen. And these basically are like a 2-pack for I think $20, or you'll see the price on the screen, and get 4 of them. That way you never run out of power, and it comes with chargers. I always recommend getting the charger pack, so it charges 2 and it comes with 2. You get 2 of those, it's like $40, and you got 4 batteries, and you could charge 4 at a time. Never run out of power, never run out of storage. You have a good camera, solid controls over the settings and such, and you have a strong lens. When we talk about lighting, we're going to really go back in time for the cheapest possible thing you could get. Drum roll please. This is like a $10 can light from Le Home Depot or Lowe's. Now, do I recommend this as a professional solution? By no means at all. But if you're looking for the most expensive flexible light possible, I could literally put this just about wherever I want. I could clamp it on right here, set it up, and I could use it. I could adjust it and put it up here. I could do pretty much anything with these, and then I can move them around with this, and then, oh look, I have a backlight. Or I could put it out of screen in front of me, clip it on over here, and this allows you to get a 3-point lighting setup for maybe $30 or $40 for the metal and the wire, and then probably like another 10, 12 bucks for decent bright LED lights that would go in them. And you just plug them in and make them work however you want. Now, if you're looking to upgrade to like a small professional 3-point lighting setup, I would recommend the Great Video Maker GVM LED 3-point lighting setup. Now, this comes with the stands, it comes with the lights, pretty much everything that you need in one bag. They are tested to have a really high CRI. When you're purchasing lights, you want to have the highest CRI possible. That's the color rendering index. It's basically saying that the lights are as color accurate as possible. And they're under $400, so it's an incredible deal for 3 high-powered, really good quality LED lights. Now, these could be powered by Sony NPF batteries or by plugging them into the wall. So I would recommend picking up a bunch of Wasabi Power branded knockoff Sony NPF batteries, because these are a phenomenal deal. I pretty much power my cameras, my lights, my sound equipment. I power everything that I possibly can, including my monitors, with the Sony NPFs because they are really inexpensive. From the Wasabi Power, super high quality, they last a long time and they work great. I've been using them for years. Best brand I've ever used. I am not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. I've just used them and love them so much I got to talk about them. So that covers 2 different steps of budget lighting. Now we're going to talk about sound equipment. Now, sound you're going to want to spend a little bit more in because sound is super important, and it's almost impossible with really cheap gear to get high quality sound. The first thing when it comes to just like a little mic that you put on the camera to enhance the sound quality, as long as the camera's close to the subject, you could use the Movo little shotgun mic that mounts on the camera. I think it's the VXR10 or something like that. You'll see it again on the screen. And this is an amazing, amazing microphone for the money. It's comparable to the Rode microphones that they have, the video mic, the Go, whatever. But it's a little bit cheaper, super great quality mic. You could use that. I even use the Movo wired lavalier mic sometimes when I am shooting interviews in New York City outside, because I don't want to deal with all the wireless frequencies, and that's like 80 bucks for a 2-pack of lavs, and they're surprisingly really good quality. Throw on a little bit of denoiser in post and they sound professional. So I even recommend those for lavalier mics if you want to upgrade and do a wired solution. And you could plug those into an inexpensive recorder like the Zoom H4n or Zoom H4n Pro, which you could pick up for less than $200. It's like the industry standard for budget indie filmmaking sound recorders. And you could plug that microphone right into it, into the XLR input, and get an amazing sound quality right there. If you want to go with wireless microphones like lavalier mics, then you're going to want to upgrade and spend a lot more money on this, because that's where quality is super important. Anytime you're dealing with wireless frequencies, you need a high quality receiver and transmitter, or else you're in big trouble. The cheapest you could go is the Rode Wireless Go mic. They're pretty good. They're not perfect, but like if you're doing content creation where you're talking in front of a camera, like this guy right here, see him? Yeah, right here, this guy, face. You would want to go with something at least that quality or higher, and that's the cheapest that you're going to get. From there, my preferred choice would probably be the Rode Wireless Filmmaker. That one's considerably more expensive than the last one I mentioned, but that one's kind of the standard, I guess, for content creation, doing DSLR interviews, stuff like that. If you want to go to the ones that I use, it's a little higher quality. It's the Sennheiser G4 and G3 series microphones. Those, I believe, are $600 or $700, so they're much more expensive, but they are kind of the time-tested champions, super high quality, really amazing microphones. I've been using those my whole career as a sound recorder, so I would highly recommend those. So if you're looking for the most budget possible, you're looking at $100 for the camera, you're looking at $300 for the lens, maybe 40 or 50 bucks in SD cards, 40, 50 bucks in batteries for them. Your light, you could go as cheap as like $50 for a 3-point lighting setup, all the way to $300 and change. You will look at less than $200 on the sound recorder, and then the microphones will vary from the Movo $40 one that plants on the camera to the Movo wired lavs. That could be $80 for a 2-pack, up to $200 to say $700 for wireless microphones. If you're looking for inexpensive shotgun microphones, take a look at any of the Sennheiser series, from like the MV something to the ME64 and 66 microphones. They're very good. Of course, not as good as the MKH 416, I think it is. You see it on the screen, but that one's like $1,000. It's just out of a budget setup. So those are some things that you could use for a budget video setup, all super high quality equipment. Otherwise, if you're looking for the cheapest camera possible, take out the phone in your pocket. Probably shoots 4K, not the best image quality that you can imagine, obviously, but it will do the job. Download an app like Filmic Pro. We've done videos on how to shoot really good quality video using that app, so check out the link to it right here, somewhere around here, I'm not sure. It's somewhere on the screen. Click it, please. Anyway, my name is Brandon Ascari from Ascari Digital's Content Creator Academy. If you have any questions, please drop a comment down below, share the video with all your friends, give us a thumbs up. Ow, that hurt my cheek. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and in the meantime, I will see ya!